Welcome to the Gentleman's Guide to the Accursed, and we are back with another character creation session. Yes, so soon after our Monster Kingdoms character creation session on Monday, but this one has a twist. You see, it isn't just a Curseborne character creation session, no. This is a character creation session using one of the families from the Curseborne Player's Guide. That's right. We're using the Curseborne Player's Guide as our influence here. This is where we're going to be drawing our material from. Almost all of it, if I can help it. And that should be very exciting to you, because we're going to, at our next path, be launching a crowdfunder for the Player's Guide, hopefully soon. Hopefully October. I don't know for certain, but that's the intent. And, well, let's demonstrate one of the new families that's present in it. As you can tell from the name of this particular family, they're not exactly going to be well loved by many. They are the Tormentors, otherwise known as the Robins, or the Law. And the Tormentors have, let's say, an interesting relationship with trauma and suffering. They have some historic links to a Hungary family known as the Leppi, who aren't profiled in this book but are coming up in another one. And the Tormentor's desire to fuel the urge of pain and suffering and trauma, it can put other dead at odds with them, as you might imagine. I've decided that this one's going to be a high school teacher, so the character type is probably going to be someone quite unpleasant if they want. I think this is going to be someone who, let's think, yeah, you know what? I was going to go for someone unpleasant, but let's go for Bully the Bullies. This is someone who came up through an utterly tormented childhood, always hated going to school themselves, and basically became a teacher so that they could give hell to the bullies. Don't know how well that's going to work without them turning into a monster themselves, but this is our concept. Now, the thing with the Tormentors... Mógł si rodninia jaka zoreżdżenia na zapodiani trawim incim. Woni szukutszko binsi widkuwali inni strazdania. Tomutri nawiki na dziksniomi akusi posonatsa budut. Liderstwo, empatia, ta bliźni żbi. So with that in mind, I think as we're treating this as the major path, we're going to put 3... There we go. I think that works, doesn't it? 6 dots there. For the dead, we're going for esoterica, we're going to go for survival, and we're going to go for pilot. And as a high school teacher, I think it makes sense. What kind of teacher is this one going to be? Let's make them a science teacher. So science, a bit of medicine maybe. And I'm going to put in culture. Culture. Not necessarily the most persuasive of people. Now, actually, as it happens, I will get 4 dots at the end of character creation to spend, additional to what I've just spent. So let's put 1 in persuasion. Let's put 2 in persuasion. Let's put another 1 in empathy. And finally, our 4th one we're going to put down into athletics. So, all round a high school teacher sometimes has to fill in for physical education. And now, the Tormentor's spread as a major attribute spread is only 1 in mental, 4 in physical, and 5... Oh, that's more than I needed to. 5 in social. Whereas the dead have 2 in mental and 2 in social for minor path. So that leaves us with high school teacher. Now, I think you've got to have some resolve to be a high school teacher. There's going to be 1 there. I'm going to suggest 1 in dexterity, 1 in presence. I intimidate the other kids. and I'm a lot more cunning than I let on. Alright, so there's our attributes, there's our skill dots, boom, done. Let's look at the motif now. Well, the Tormentors have a very interesting motif selection, one of which, my favourite, Zaklinania, Chremlini temna, Tajiminikska, ta Imochina, Spachstinik. Wybrani damy motyw dozwolenia nam nakreślić efekt statusu achonia. Na but koho my wyrazimy zaklinaniam psychic no i nalasztowania. So we will go for psychic, attunement, spells, 1 bled die equals agony, status effect. Perfect. So that is our motif. Oh, and it's gone. And as for the spells we're going to go for some you've never heard of before. Dark Secrets isn't even in the range for the dead. It's the secret spell for the Tormentors. So the Gremlins, let's see what we can paste in here. Gremlins is one of my favourites. This isn't going to benefit from our motif, but it's one I particularly enjoy. Essentially, you can turn people's tools against them with Gremlins, and while that is very, very simple, I think that's a fine way of causing trauma to students, especially if you're a science teacher. As for emotional legacy, you can instill a compulsion in a target to evoke an emotion of your choosing in others. Now, that is something I really like the idea of, that this teacher manages to avoid the blame by basically getting the students to torment each other on their behalf. And then that leads us to Dark Secrets, which is actually a spell in the Stranger practice used by the Primal. So, when we use it, you immediately recognise when someone knowingly lies. You also receive +1 enhancement that stacks on interrogations. Perfect! So let's look at some new torments now, shall we? Because you want to see lots of new stuff. There's one I'm particularly fond of, and it's for the dead. It's weak animation. I hope you can read it. And as for personal, I think the personal torment is get more involved in a student's life than is healthy. I mean, read into that what you will. As for my damnation, because we're going for major here, we've got to go with the urge that the Tormentors have, rather than the generic dead one. And likewise, we need to choose one for their inheritance. Luckily, there's a lot of space in this box. There we go. So, let's look at contacts now for our role. I'm going to go for... let's go for Patricia... we'll go for Patricia Callister. She is a student, and I just saw a thief one come up, so let's have her be a thief, someone who can steal things for us. We have a good relationship with Patricia. We're going to go for our lineage contacts now. I think we're actually going to go for Isaac Wool. He is going to be a member of the Eurydice, I should say. Family. And he is a mentor. I've got a mentor outside of the family. I'm going to put an additional dot in that. And that leaves us with family now. And we will go here for Freddie Furno, which is his stage name. He enjoys watching people. He's like a shock magician, I think, Freddie Furno. He takes the stage, does some particularly shocking, vulgar tricks, and people hate it, and then they love it, and he enjoys that urge. So we're going to put his tag here as High Society. Oh, entertainment. He can get us into exclusive access. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Alright, so that just leaves us with our edges, I believe. So we're going to take one from... Here we go. It's already come up. Secret Cache. So this is a new one that is presented in the Curseborne Player's Guide. Secret Cache. It allows you to basically have a secret stash of an item you need for the given task once per session, but you have to be able to access it. I'm going for a P.O. box for this character. It can't be in a place that everyone would know it happens to be, otherwise it wouldn't be a secret. I am then going to look at the... let's go for some edges from the core book. I don't want this person to be wholly ridiculous. We're going to go for an heirloom. What heirloom shall we have? Let's go for an heirloom worth 2 dots. This is going to be a... you know what? This is going to be something particularly cruel, I think. A hot pair of tongs. I'm a science teacher. That retains intense heat. So I'm going to probably have to put the burning status effect or burning tag on this, and maybe even give it the opportunity to expand into the aflame area effect. I will have a look at that. So final one, let's go for a 1 dot. We are going to go for resources. No, actually resources. I'm a high school teacher. High school teachers don't have resources. I have got anonymity. No one remembers me, even the people that used to pick on me that made my life miserable. So there we go. We have our character. We have our high school teacher, who we are going to be calling... Let's call them Professor Tim. I want to go for a really... a name that doesn't stand out at all, so keeping things monosyllabic helps. Professor Tim Horne. There we go. There's Professor Tim Horne, Tormentor at large. We can now play our first character from the Curseborne Player's Guide, and I look forward to creating more characters for this this book as the weeks go on. Until then, be seeing you.